Askreddit Asks, what's the worst case of rich kid syndrome you've seen?
In college I wrecked my 1998 Toyota and came back in a 1998 Toyota with the front bumper missing at it. Thank you so much to everyone that gave me these awards. I got a chuckle when I wrote this comment, so I'm glad a lot of other people found some joy in it too. Not so bad if you went to college in 1999.
In 2008 my housemates somehow blew up the engine on my shitbox of a 1990 Camry. To be fair, it was heading there, so I bought another shitbox but late 80s model and used the other one for parts. One of my college classmates wrecked his Range Rover over winter break and came back in an Aston Martin.
That's one hell of an upgrade.
In college I wrecked my 1998 Toyota and came back in a 1998 Toyota with the front bumper missing at it. Thank you so much to everyone that gave me these awards. I got a chuckle when I wrote this comment, so I'm glad a lot of other people found some joy in it too.
In middle school we were asked to draw our homes for some assignment and hand it in at the end of class. A popular, extremely wealthy kid that sat behind me raised his hand and smugly asked the teacher for another sheet of paper because he couldn't draw it all on one page. His friends just snickered, but I was cringing. Even at 12 I remember thinking it was such a snobby thing to say.
I had a girl like that in French class high school. We had to draw and label our house floor plan in Francais, and Kat raised her hand and asks how many floors because she kind of lives in a mansion. For other purposes Kat was pretty cool, but she bragged about her wealth a lot.
Worked with this kid who was a good kid, but completely disconnected from financial reality for most people. He just moved out west from another state and was trying to get on like a normal adult. He went to buy a new car and was shocked that they couldn't just bill his dad for it. Since they didn't know him, he ordered a bottle of wine at a restaurant and the sommelier said, "Certainly, sir." Then the sommelier whispered, "Just for your knowledge, sir, the bottle is $700. He looked straight at him and asked, "Is that a lot?" The sommelier honestly didn't know how to answer. Good kid, and he got a lot better. But he just didn't know. Once he casually told his mom he needed some help with bills and she deposited $20 into his account.
Went to school with a crazy rich kid. His parents divorced and each decided to buy his love. Mommy owned a real estate agency, so she got him a license and spoon-fed him enough sales for a six-figure income. The dad then bought him a magazine. Yes, the dad bought a magazine for his 24-year-old cokehead son to run. Worked about as well as you'd imagine.
I work for a dentist and her son is a spoiled brat. He was at the office one day because she had to bring him to an appointment later that day. He got bored and went out wandering around some of the local shops. He came back a little while later and without any preamble walked up to her and said, "Give me $80. She asked him what it was for and he just repeated himself and she gave it to him. Edit. Did not expect this to blow up. I'll answer a few questions if I can. So the kid is 19 years old. He was 17 at the time of this incident. The father is in the picture, but my boss, the dentist, is the main breadwinner and disciplinarian of the family. The husband is more like another child and just works here and there and lives off her money. She tries to act tough and instill certain morals and values in her kids, but then turns around and caves to all of the demands. For example, her twin daughters are going to university next year and instead of staying in a dorm they demanded a 2-bedroom 2-bathroom apartment. They refused to share a bedroom or even a bathroom. At first she told them absolutely not, but they whined and complained and she caved. This will be a 2-bed 2-bath apartment in Toronto, by the way, where rent prices are through the roof. My boss is very much about appearances and from a young age got her kids accustomed to a privileged lifestyle. She created monsters. Edit 2. Yes, they are totally like Jean Ralphio and Mona Lisa Saperstein.
My fiance's cousin. He managed to crash 4 cars while still in high school because his father would replace them. When he moved on to college, He got kicked out of several apartments for owning a dog when they weren't permitted. He told me he didn't care though, since his father also funded his continuous stream of new housing. From what I last heard, his father is now paying for his long-standing cocaine habit.
Do these parents actually care about their kids? I don't understand how out of touch as a parent you have to be to keep buying your child brand new vehicles every time they crash one due to him, her being reckless. How do you not know to punish them? Or make them work until they pay it off or something? I just do not get how you cannot understand this.
My fraternity brother's monthly allowance of $2,000 was cancelled from his parents because he made a few F's. He then called his aunt for a separate allowance. Edit. The dude was a massive douche. His dad is a very successful stockbroker in the Memphis, Germantown area. The kid only went to college so he could earn a degree to work at that company. The kid already had it made from day one. I could write paragraphs on how big of a douche canoe this dude was. But honestly, every single person who's replied here is a better person than he was. Edit 2. He blew the money on Xanax and weed. Edit 3. The kicker of this story was not really the amount, but the fact that the kid called up his wealthy aunt for more money. Edit 4. Changed cook to douche.
I knew a girl whose allowance was $90 a day. She got into trouble so they cut it to $90 a week. How old was she? Assuming this was high school, how did she manage to spend $30K a year? Exclamation mark. Question mark. Exclamation mark.
Why $90? Why not make it $100? Why is this the one that's bothering me the most? Question mark.
She was a teenager. She lived in Manhattan. So that explains a bit. Knew this one guy at my college who didn't understand why everybody is so worked up about student loans. I remember him saying something along the lines of, why don't people just pay the tuition up front? He was also quite sheltered.
Just stop being poor, God.
I went to a small agricultural college in the UK and there was a residential trip coming up. I couldn't afford to go and I remember hearing one spoiled farmer's son saying, if people really wanted to go I'm sure they could find the money somewhere. No Charlie, I can't just find £800.
My friend literally throws away his change because he hates holding coins. Doesn't matter if it's 99 cents, he'll throw it away. That shit adds up.
Like, dot, in the bin.
Pennies I can understand. A penny hit me in the head once when I was walking by the Empire State Building. Dot, I hold a grudge. In the trash.
Went to HS with this insufferably spoiled kid. Family had a couch in their home's elevator. And classical European sculpture, this was in the US. Kid talked down to, about the less fortunate on a regular basis. Once made fun of me for picking a coin up off the ground. What an actual douche he is.
In high school, a kid was bragging that he got in his third fender bender in his old car, 3 years old, that his parents gave him, but he hated. So his parents were buying him an entirely new, current year, car to incentivize him to drive better. Hey son, you wrecked your new car? Well, fine, we're getting you a new one hoping you'll drive better. Genius.
This kid back in high school was whining, I mean literally whimpering, that he had to wait something like 6 weeks for his custom-built BMW to come over from Germany.
If that was me, I'd be surprised it only took 6 weeks to custom build a car and ship it from another country. I don't really know anything about cars. That just seems like a short time period to custom build and ship such a large item. I've waited longer than for 99p shit on eBay.
I wish I had a custom-built BMW coming for me. Opening parenthesis dot. The Nintendo DS just came out. It was like $150 and my family lived in a cramped one-bedroom apartment and drove a 20-year-old car that was always breaking down. We ate those cheap bags of Walmart beans and rice for months at one point. I expressed the desire to own one after my friend said he had one and I got, why can't your parents just buy you one? I don't get it, it's dirt cheap. He didn't want to be my friend after that anymore. Literally avoided me and made fun of me for the rest of the year behind my back. I'm still salty about it. Maybe not rich kid syndrome, but middle class kid syndrome.
Fuck that kid.
My mom's friend used to buy new clothes each season and throw out the old ones. She had to be taught by her husband to save them for the next year. Edit. This happened way back in the 50s. Her family was very rich. And he was just a normal guy.
Did she never love a piece? I'd be pissed if I had to discard my favorite shirt.
And here I am with clothes from 6+ years ago.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel, and above all, have an excellent day, you wonderful people.